from the letter of Paul to the Ephesians. Be subordinated to one another out of reverence for Christ. Wives should be subordinated to their husband as to the Lord. For husband is the head of the wife, just as Christ is the head of the church. He himself is the Savior of the body. As the church is subordinated to Christ, so wives should be subordinated to their husband in everything. Live in love as Christ loves us. Husbands, love your wives, even as Christ loved the church and handed himself over to her to sanctify her, cleanse her by the bath of water and word, that he might present to himself the church in splendor, without spot or wrinkle or any other thing, that she might be holy and without blemish. So also husbands should love their wives as their own body. Who loved his wife loved himself. For no one hates his flesh, but rather nourishes it and cherishes it, even as Christ does to his church, because we are members of his body. For this reason a man shall leave his father and mother, and be joined to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. This is a mystery. I speak with reference to Christ and the church. St. Paul, as he writes to the people of Ephesus and also the church, tried to convey that same reading to us. He reminds us about the mystery that Christ himself endured, that he who was God, he humbled himself and became one of us, subject and slave to his nature. And because of that, he subjected himself to anything that we go through. That's why St. Paul repeats the words of Jesus. You are called to be servants of one another. Love one another as I loved you. As he himself washed the feet of the apostles and told them that this is the way they have to serve the needs of one another, we too need to understand the words of St. Paul when he said to us, be subordinated to one another. And then he compared the subordination with Christ and the church in the sacrament of marriage. As Christ was humbled himself and become human, so that he became even a slave to his bride, that for her love not only he established her and created her so beautiful, but even he died to make her precious, to make her without wrinkle, to make her without no blemish and no spot. So to the church of the church, she loved him dearly and she remained faithful to the deposit of faith that he himself has proclaimed, that the gift that he brought from the Father. And so also the wives. The wife has to be subordinated to their husband, as Christ himself is the head of the church, so the husband is the head of the family. And then he said to the husband, now you have to understand that you are not the masters, you are to love. And love is a great gift. Love is when you let go of your own needs and give totally, completely yourself to the needs of the other person. So if he's saying, wives are subordinate to your husband, he's saying also, husband, love your wife and be also subject to their needs. And then he continued to say that we are called to be one body. And because we are one body, there is a head and there is members of this body. And all of us who form this body, with Jesus our head, we continue to be that really explanation or expression of the Father's love in this world. And then he continued to ask us that we too know that a man will leave his mother and father and he join his wife, and the two become one flesh. Why? Because now it's not me or her to win. It's not me or her to lose. But we are equal created by God. And so now we have to become of one mind and heart. So that in compromise and in everything we do, we continue to imitate the church. That while Christ humbled himself and become a servant to her, to make her so beautiful, to sanctify her, and to make her ready to meet him in the great wedding banquet of the wedding of the Lamb, so now the church, she humbled herself, faithful to the bond of faith. She gave to Christ and to God the Father, to the power of the Holy Spirit, her own members as victims of martyrdom. She gave of her own members example of faith. She gave of herself totally and completely so that she continued to be, from one generation to another, the bride of Christ, in preparation for that time when God the Father will call us for judgment. So the church, we will be ready as a body, as a bride, to be presented to the eternal Father for our recompense, the promise of eternal life. May the words of St. Paul remain with us, and may we not look at St. Paul as someone who looks at women little less than men, but we look at St. Paul who elevates the sacrament of marriage to a dignity, the dignity that God who created us equal is calling us now to work together. But at the end of the day, there is somebody who is in charge. There is somebody who is to say, as we say, those words that are very necessary in order that things can come to a decision. As Christ made a decision for us, and Christ himself told us, as I come from the Father not to do my will, but the will of the one who sent me. The church too needs to understand that she do not her will, but the will of her Father. If we do so, and with that mentality enter to understand the mystery of the sacrament of marriage, we can see the relationship between Christ and the church. If we really want the sacrament of marriage to continue to exist and uphold it as a sacrament and to be for us a sign of God's presence among us, we have to do the same. To live as Christ has taught us by his example for the church, and the church has taught